As I said earlier, capitalism depended on two things. First was raw material and the second was manufacturing sector. So the secondary sector was also on a rise in the period of British government, and India from ancient times till now is a hub of cheap labor. So instead of sending the raw material back to Britain, manufacture it and bring it back to India, what Britishers did in the late 19th century was started creating mills and manufacturing sectors in India itself. So they hired Indian laborers to manufacture the goods they wanted to sell in Indian market and abroad. So now what happened was, after they employed many Indians, though the labor was cheap, the British government wanted the labor to be cheaper than what it was present. After the laborers started realizing that we have been exploited by the British government in the form of various mill owners and the industrialists, they started protesting. One of the very primary revolts came from a social reformer of Brahmo Samaj called Sasipada Banerjee in West Bengal. And he started a chain of labor movements, though not very organized, and labor movements or labor unions was not also a word in that time. That became only after the Second World War. So there were labor protests and labor struggles which were backed by even Lokmanya Tilak. Ashwini Kumar Banerjee, Prabhat Kumar Roy Chaudhary were the pioneers of the labor movement in the Bengal province. Those people laid the foundation of a strong labor movement which was followed by the October Revolution of 1917 and the First World War. Till the 20th century came into the picture, there was an ideology which influenced a lot of people in the world, and that was communism. Communism was an idea put forth by a person called Karl Marx, where he stated that we want to build a society which will be classless and it will be stateless. He recognized two kinds of classes, one being haves, the people who have resources, and second being the haves not, which do not have the resources. And he said that whole human history is basically the struggle between the haves and haves not. The haves are replaced by the haves not and becomes haves. And there is still a segment of people who do not have the resources. So he wanted to end this class distinction, and he also wanted to end the state. He stated that state was the instrument of exploitation in the hands of the haves. Therefore, after the coming of communism in the picture and propagated by Lenin and the October Revolution in 1917, India started getting influenced by that ideology, and it also started creating labor unions for that matter. The pressure started to pile up upon the British Legislative Assembly and then the Central Legislative Assembly established by the 1919 reforms. In 1926, the first Labour Union Act was passed in the Central Legislative Assembly, which started to recognize labor unions as organizations within industries. Why was this a big movement? Because British Empire was inherently a capitalist empire. Recognizing labor unions was essentially giving laborers or the class which do not have resources a space to voice their resources. The credit of 1926 Act goes way back to the pioneers of what we called as the labor movement. But there was also one name which is again ignored by a lot of historians. That was N.M. Joshi. There is an N.M. Joshi Marg in Dadar. N.M. Joshi founded the All India Trade Union Congress in 1920. This was on the background of the formation of International Labour Organization or ILO. So the whole credit of giving a space to labourers in 1926 was to N.M. Joshi. Labourers and farmers together formed a major chunk of all the mass protests right from 1900s or the Swadeshi movement. and the pattern continued till 1942 Quit India movement and later on. The peasant and the labor movement later translated into the cooperative movement led by leaders of Maharashtra. This will be all for today's episode of Bharat Bhagya Vidhata. Next week we will meet in the finale of Bharat Bhagya Vidhata, discussing the most interesting and the most controversial personality, father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Hey guys, do not forget to like this video, subscribe and press on the bell icon to get latest updates on our videos. Thank you. Jai Hind.